I think one of the most awaited engagement ceremonies of the season was Nick and Sandy, just because they're such a toxic, problematic couple. In my opinion, they shouldn't have come on this show in the first place. And Nick should have let Sandy break up with him. But I don't know. His thought process is very weird to me, Nick. Like I've been saying, Sandy had been ready to break up with Nick, but Nick thought, okay, to convince her that I'm not going to neglect her again, I'm going to love bomb her and proposition her to save the relationship. We're going to go on this soft swinging show. And then when she takes part in the swinging, I'm going to crash out. I'm going to start stalking her. I'm going to start harassing her. I'm going to start harassing her friends and her family. I'm going to start abusing alcohol and other substances, I suspect. And then I'm going to still expect Sandy to marry me. The delusion is very much beyond me. And the fact that people are supporting this man, Nick, I'm still confused. And you could never make me support that man. The way people are romanticizing and trivializing this abusive behavior coming from Nick as this, oh my God, he's the heartbroken boyfriend, I would react the same way. Police on all of you. A lot of people don't like Sandy, but I'm sorry, you can't make me hate her. You can't make me hate her. A lot of people have been saying that Sandy is manipulative, and I don't entirely dispute that, but in my opinion, Sandy is only reacting to Nick's manipulation. It's giving very much like, you try and manipulate me, okay, I'm gonna manipulate you and I'm gonna do it better. I think some of it is a bit of manipulation to manage Nick's erratic outbursts. And I think some of it is sprinkle manipulation. Like, I think Sandy does manipulate to get what she wants from Nick. And for me personally, I'm not mad at it. I'm very much an advocate for women manipulating men to get what they want, because men love to do it to women. Equal manipulation rights. But what I will say is we do see the sprinkle manipulation come into play from Sandy in this ceremony. Now, I do think a lot of people felt like Sandy was going to dump Nick. I thought that she was going to dump Nick, but I did think potentially there was a possibility that she might marry Nick. A small one, but most of me thought that she was going to dump Nick. So in this ceremony, they're both professing their love for each other. I love you, you're the love of my life, I can't live without you. They're both saying that, Sandy and Nick. Personally, like I've said in my last video, I don't think that they love each other. I think it's very much a sprinkle relationship. And I think maybe they love what they can do for each other. Nick loves that Sandy is his trophy girlfriend. And Sandy loves that Nick is providing for her. Perhaps there is some humanity in the relationship, like, how a human would feel for a human. Love, I'm not too sure. So anyway, it's very clear that Nick wants to marry Sandy. This is his objective. He wants to marry Sandy. So like I said, they both profess their undying love for each other. Nick reaches for the ring in his pocket and Sandy audibly gasps in disgust. She audibly gasps in disgust. And then it's like, what are you doing? What, bitch? What do you mean, what are you doing? He's clearly proposing and she's scared. She's scared. Literally after you just declared your undying love for this man, Sandy. Like I said, I'm not against women manipulating men, but make it realistic, girl. Make it realistic. So Nick clocks that and he's like, oh, bitch, like, you can't even pretend anymore that you don't even fucking like me, bitch. So he calls her out and he's like, you know what? You clearly don't want me. I'm not marrying you. I'm going to find someone else who deserves me. Blah, blah, blah. You clearly need somebody who is going to love you the way that you need it. It's not going to be me. And this is the rare occasion that I'm like, Nick's got a point. Because how can you stand there, Sandy, and be like, oh, I love this man, he's the love of my life, like, I can't live without him, blah, blah, blah. But then be audibly gasping in disgust when he pulls out the ring. Now, Nick said in the reunion that he actually wasn't going to propose to Sandy that day. he was going to say that they needed to work on their relationship. Do we buy that? I'm not sure. I feel like he would just lie about that, to be honest. I think he was going to propose. But anyway, back to the ceremony. So Sandy basically says that yes, she loves Nick, but they need to work on their relationship. Like, she would be open to marriage in the future, but she feels like they have to work on things, like that he can't ignore that they need to work on things. They need to go on they need to go to therapy, etc. And although objectively that is not true, in the context of their relationship situation that's going on, that's a crock of shit, Sandy. That is a crock of shit, Sandy. You knew you don't want to marry that man. And that's okay. I get it. I understand. He's crazy. He's unstable. Personally, I feel like Sandy was trying to buy herself more time, trying to stall their breakup. And why? Why do I think that? I highly suspect that she had some things still in her basket that needed to be cleared. Sprinkle, sprinkle. You know, maybe she needed another month rent-free, you know, for the transitional period. Like, she wasn't ready to go cold turkey just yet. Like, she needs a transitional period. You know what I mean? Yeah, transitional period while she shops around. That's what it was giving. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Because it's very clear that Sandy is not marrying Nick. She does not see Nick as marriage material. And Nick clocked her on that. He called her out. And he's talking about, you know, this is finished. This is done for me. But I know he wasn't going to stand on business. Did anyone think Nick was going to stand on business and like just cut Sandy off and go cold turkey? I knew he wasn't going to do that. And that was basically confirmed in the reunion, that they basically tried to make it work after like Nick basically went running and begging for Sandy back. But I'll talk about how that went in another video. But I got to hear from you guys. What did you guys think about that engagement ceremony? Because it was something.